Malcolm, thank you for presenting at the Global Online Marketplaces Conference next week. What do you plan to talk about?
Thank you, Simon. Well, thank you for inviting me to talk. I'd like to share some thoughts I've had on how classifieds, in my view, is now reaching a point of no return. If you think that even before COVID-19 hit, a lot of the revenue growth was slowing down, both automotive and real estate verticals in some of the more profitable Western markets. And I think looking forward, this reliance on brokers, on real estate agents, or on car dealers to spend more and more money on lead generation is just not going to go very far further. And therefore, classifieds are going to have to really think about different models which can reignite growth. I would then add also that the customer experience which you get when you're using classifieds is somewhat broken. The idea that, in fact, as a consumer, as a potential buyer of a car, the classifieds gets you to find a car which you like, and then you click a button and you start talking to a dealer, usually face to face. And clearly that kind of model is feeling more and more outdated. I think more and more consumers are looking for a much more fully fledged online experience, akin to when we're booking a holiday on booking.com. And so what's really interesting is that there are already companies out there that are offering this kind of Amazon one-click experience for cars and also for apartment rentals. But these are companies like Kazoo in the UK, like Kavana in the US, or like Spotahome for rentals. But the challenge is for these companies is that they've got a great customer experience, but they've got less attractive unit economics. And in contrast, the classifieds guys are making both high revenues and particularly high EBITDA margins because they're just lead generation businesses based upon largely free traffic. And what's going to be really interesting to see is how are the classifieds guys going to get closer to the models of the Kazoos, the Kavanas, and the Spotahomes, or will more and more money be pumped into these platform plays and help them to get the traffic to really take on and displace the classifieds guys.
Emerging. Do you want to give us a bit of an insight into who do you think wins at the end of the day?
Well, I wouldn't want to do that before my presentation itself, but I think that there's often a lot of room in these markets for multiple players. When you look at the Chinese market, and I recommend anyone who has the patience to spend a few hours on Google Translate to look carefully at what's going on in China, because you have, for example, in cars, both classic lead gen platforms, but you also have, like Autohome, but you also have, and BitAuto, but you also have pure end-to-end transaction platforms like Waxi. And then in between, you have kind of hybrid models where, for example, the platforms are providing a gold standard of car inspections and helping dealers to sell more effectively. So it's very interesting to see all three models, which I call listings models, platform models, and marketplace models. And certainly in big markets, there's probably room for multiple variants to become successful. But